Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm just going to be talking about things that I wish I would have known during pregnancy, labor, and then now that I'm a mom. Things that I've learned along the way. But before we get into this video, you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Rachel, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let's get on to the video. So during my pregnancy, you guys, I felt very overwhelmed with all the things that my doctor would tell me and what the nurse would tell me. And sometimes, during my pregnancy, the main doctor that was, watching to see that my pregnancy was going good, she went on vacation, and then I had another doctor, and they had completely different opinions on things. And basically, my main doctor, she would tell me, to do the whole natural birth, no epidural, no painkillers, nothing. Honestly, you guys, at first, I felt like, yes, that's what I want to do. I don't want an epidural. Mainly because I was scared, you guys, because, that was going to be a big needle going into my back. And then a lot of people would say, that they would have, like, back pain and all these symptoms that they got after getting the epidural. So I was kind of scared of that. But let me tell you guys, pregnancy and contractions are no joke, you guys. A lot of people have a high pain tolerance. But I thought, you guys, like, I couldn't do it anymore. I went into labor on December 20th of 2017, and I didn't give birth to my baby until December 21st of 2017 at 6:30 in the morning. But I was in labor. I went into the hospital at exactly 6:40 in the morning of the next, of the 20th of December. Let me open the door for my dog, you guys. But yes, I went into the hospital on the 20th of December, and I was having contractions, but I literally did not know I was having contractions. Like, I thought they were Braxton Hicks contractions, because I started getting those when I was like around in the middle of my second trimester in my pregnancy. And it was so scary to me, you guys, because even though they did tell me, about Braxton Hicks contractions, I really didn't feel like, I really didn't think, to be honest, that they were gonna hurt. I didn't know what they were gonna feel like. But I remember this day specifically, you guys. It was so scary. It was on a weekday, and I remember I got up, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I got up with this pain in my stomach. Like, it just felt like so tight. My stomach tightened, and I just felt pain, and I started freaking out because I couldn't get up. I felt like if I got up, it would hurt even more. And I remember I woke up my boyfriend. He was sleeping because he had to go to work later on in the morning. And I remember I woke him up, and I was like telling him, that I was in pain, and like, he was so understanding, you guys. He was worried, of course. He didn't know what was wrong with me, and I didn't know how to explain it to him either because I was in pain. I was trying like not to breathe or like take deep breaths because it was hurting a lot. And I didn't know that that was a Braxton Hicks contraction. I thought it was like something else. I was worried about the baby. I didn't know if something was wrong. So when they mentioned them to me, they just said that it'll feel like a light pain, nothing too serious. But when I got it, it felt like so unreal to me how bad it would hurt. And I remember after I went away, like, I was fine, but I would get it like during the day. After that first time, I started getting them like regularly, at least like once or twice a day. And I remember I would get them especially at night, you guys. I remember one time we had just gotten home because I was craving some food, and I would always be, this is the other thing, guys, like, for the first 3 months of my pregnancy, I did not want to eat anything. I couldn't stand the smell of food or seeing food. It all looked really gross and disgusting to me. So I wouldn't want to eat. And when I would eat, I would only eat a little bit. So for the beginning of my pregnancy, I lost weight. And that wasn't good. So I was worried because, I had to be eating, for myself, for the baby, and, making sure that I was eating healthy. And that wasn't happening for the first 3 months. I had a lot of morning sickness and I was feeling so tired and so with low energy, you guys, and I honestly don't understand why. Like, pregnancy is so different. Like, I remember I would see my mom during her pregnancy and like she was fine. She looked fine. She looked like, like nothing, So I thought it was going to be something like that for me, but it wasn't. It was so bad the first 3 months. And I remember even going into the beginning of my second trimester, I was still feeling so bad and I was working at the time. And I remember I would have like people come in and like I remember this one time I was working with my friend and we had this customer come in and I just felt like he had literally poured his whole cologne on him. Oh my god. And I had to like take care of him. So I was like, okay, I was helping him out with whatever he needed to get done. And I remember he left and I was like, finally I can breathe. And then he ended up coming back and I was like, nope, I can't. I remember I ran to the back and like threw up everything that I had eaten for breakfast that day. So it was pretty bad for me. But going back to the Braxton Hicks contractions, honestly, it was crazy to me to see how that just came out of nowhere. Like, I would be eating sometimes and I would just get it and I just have to like wait it out and like try to breathe and relax and like it was just bad. Like, I would feel like my stomach get kind of hard. And the funny thing is, on December 19th, since I was getting them like more regularly, I was like, fine, it'll go away. I would just like, just relax and like breathe it out and, just wait. And I thought that I was getting Braxton Hicks contractions because I remember that day I was in that nesting mode, which they did talk to me about. Like, once you're like towards the end of your pregnancy, you get into like a nesting mode where you just want to clean and make sure everything's ready for your baby. And I remember I had washed all her clothes, I had dried it, I had folded them, I had everything ready for her, her blankets, her boppy pillow. I even washed the cover, everything, the actual pillow. I was doing so much. And I remember that night I was cleaning because my boyfriend at the time, he was in Virginia. I ended up coming to Michigan to have my baby because it's just, I wanted to be close to my family. And I remember I had came in, you guys, in November, I believe. Yeah, in November I came in and I had my last pregnancy checkups here. At that time, I was already being seen every week. And I remember I went to my last appointment before I gave birth, and I remember my doctor told me here, she was like, I don't think I'm gonna see you next week because you're already, I believe I was like 2 or 3 inches dilated already. So she was like, I don't think I'm gonna see you next week. You're probably, sorry, you're probably gonna be in the hospital by the time. And she was completely right, you guys. I was in the hospital by that day that I had the appointment. So basically what happened is that night, I was cleaning, I was, sweeping, I was mopping, I was, disinfecting everything, like everything completely. The bathroom, I cleaned it, everything. And I remember that night when I went to bed, I started getting like the Braxton Hicks contractions, I thought. So I was like, it's fine, I'll wait it out. So I ended up not sleeping at all that night, and it was the 19th. And I remember once it got to like early in the morning, like 2 or 3 in the morning, I started to get them like frequently. And I was like, maybe it's just more frequent, maybe because I did a lot of cleaning today. No, you guys, I wish I would have known like the difference, because people were like, okay, Braxton Hicks contractions, come and go like a normal contraction, but I just thought, a normal contraction was gonna feel different. Like, I don't know, it hurted the same except for like later on they got worse, you guys. I give props to all the moms, you guys, that go through all that pain, because honestly, just creating a human being inside of you and like carrying them for 9 months and then giving birth and going through all that labor and all the pain and all of that, it's just so emotional, you guys. But it's also so like, you just feel like amazing, to become a mom and to see your daughter or your son for the first time, it's amazing. Like, there's no way to describe how happy I felt when that happened. But what I was going to say is I was having actual contractions, and I really thought that I was having Braxton Hicks contractions. So what happened is, once it got to 2-3 in the morning, I was getting like the contractions every like 15 to 10 minutes apart, and I really wasn't thinking about that at the time. And I remember I texted my boyfriend, and I was like, I'm having these Braxton Hicks contractions, and like they keep coming back, and like neither of us really thought like, are you having actual contractions? So I remember I just let it go. I would breathe through them, and still thinking in my head that they're Braxton Hicks. So I remember I got up that morning. It was 5 in the morning. I remember exactly. And I remember I got up and I went to the bathroom, and I felt something come out when I went to the bathroom, and I started to freak out, you guys. I was not ready. Like, it was only the 20th. Her due date was December 31st. So I thought I still had like a week and a few days to go. A week to go. Yeah. And it wasn't like that. So I started freaking out because I saw blood and everything, and I was like, what is wrong? Like, I pictured, you guys, like whenever I would go to her appointments, during my pregnancy, they would tell me like about your water breaking and all these things. So I just thought it was gonna be like my water was gonna break, and I was like gonna be so ready, and like we were gonna go to the hospital and it's fine, and he was gonna be here. But he wasn't here, you guys. He was in Virginia. And I remember as soon as I saw that, I came back in the room. I got myself together because I was freaking out. And I remember I called him and I was like, you know what? You have to, like, this happened. Like, the baby's coming. Like, this means something. And I'm going to go to the hospital right now. So I remember I went upstairs. I talked to my mom. I woke her up. She was actually already awake because my dad gets up at that time to go to work. And she was awake, and I was like, we have to go to the hospital. This happened, and we have to go. But I calmed down. I got my nerves, calmed them down, everything. And I put everything aside. I was like, I have to calm down. So I was like, I'm going to take a shower. I'm going to, get my stuff. And my dad, like, he sort of calmed me down. He was like, it's probably nothing. Like, they'll probably send you back home. So I was in the mindset that I was going to go in, they were going to check me, and I was like, probably going to come back home. No. When I got to the hospital, I was nervous because they started to check me, and they were like, you're 5 dilated. And I was like, wow, like, this is going to happen, you guys. Like, this is going to happen. And I remember I called him, and I was like, I'm staying in the hospital. Like, you need to get over here ASAP. Like, get in the car, call your boss. You're not going to work. You're coming here. And he was like nervous, you guys, and he started to drive here. And for most of the time, I remember everything that because I went to classes, like breathing classes and all these things when I was in Virginia. And to be honest, I feel like they did help. But I feel like once you're in that situation, like, you're having your contractions, like, sometimes that leaves your head. Like, I blanked out for a couple moments because they got so painful. And I was like, I don't want to be in the bed. I remember most of the time before I ended up getting the epidural, I was in that little ball. I was sitting on that ball, and like, that would help me relax. So I would lay my head on like the bed, and I would be sitting on the ball, and I'd just like breathe through them, And I feel like that helped me the most. Usually when they would tell me to cope with contractions, if they put you the wireless monitors on, walk around, I didn't want to walk. I wanted to be on that ball and like bounce on it lightly and like, rest my head and breathe and just shut everything out, and I feel like that helped me a lot, you guys. Also, the other thing is, when I was getting ready to pack, my hospital bag and her bag, and I'd watch all these videos, and they would show all these things, and they would recommend what they thought you would need. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys right now, honestly, the one thing that I was so grateful for was actually remembering to put chapstick in my bag, because that was a life changer, you guys. Your lips get so dry, so dry, and it's like so bothering. So definitely chapstick is one thing that I would be like, you have to put it in there, you know, even put an extra one just in case you can't find the first one, because it is a life changer. Also deodorant, you guys, because believe it or not, once you're in that state, like I usually don't sweat that much, but like deodorant is life saving, and definitely I would recommend. Also, I didn't really see a lot of people in the videos recommend this, but having something to keep your mind off things, like whether it be your phone, make sure you take your phone charger. Don't forget your charger. I feel like that helps a lot. Like books, a book that you like to read, I feel like that helps too. I took my makeup, you guys. Well, I had somebody bring me my makeup. I gave my mom the keys, and she went and she got me my makeup bag. So that was a lot of help. But to be honest, after giving birth to my daughter, I didn't want to do anything. I didn't feel like doing my makeup. I just wanted to be with her and like take it all in, even though I didn't sleep at all, you guys. So the 19th got the contractions, didn't sleep. The 20th, I was in the hospital with contractions and pain, didn't sleep. I didn't even eat. They only gave me broth and ice chips, you know. That's it. That was really it. So yeah, that's one thing that I was not happy about, but I was like, it's okay, I'll eat after she's here. And I didn't feel like doing my makeup. I remember when I got to the room, I did take a shower, and honestly, you guys, that helps you feel so much better after you have your daughter. You know, you take that time once you're in your room, you know, take a warm shower, you know, get everything, you know, settled, cleaned, everything. And I definitely feel so good at the fact that I packed my maternity sweats, the sweats that I would wear when I was pregnant, because they fitted more comfortably than if I would have taken the sweats that I was wearing before I was pregnant. They felt so nice and comfy and like a nice loose shirt. Since I was breastfeeding, you guys, I did take like shirts that were like a V neck shirt, or like something that was easy, you know, to pull down in order to feed her. A robe. I felt so relieved at the fact that I took my robe. I just felt so much better having it there with me. And then the other thing, you guys, that I felt like helped me a lot was definitely the icicle pads that they call them. Those are life changing, you guys, because after having my daughter and it being my first pregnancy and my first labor experience, having that with me was life changing. I recommend it to everybody because honestly it helps. And I see a lot of moms talk about how after giving birth they're like nothing, they're fine, you know, back to everything. Not me. I had a struggle, you guys, sitting down because of the stitches that I got. It was a struggle to like sit down comfortably or like be in a comfortable position. I remember when I got out of the hospital and like I would sit in the sofa upstairs, I would sit in such an awkward position, but it was like the comfortablest position to me, which was like sort of like sideways, not actually like sitting on my bum. But you know, whatever it takes, right? To be comfortable. And that thing, the bottle that they give to you when you have to go to the bathroom after giving birth, I don't know what I would do without it. To be honest, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have tried not to go to the bathroom, because without that bottle, I would avoid going to the bathroom. And I really had to like rush and get the bottle and get to the sink and fill it up with water and just finally go to the bathroom, because otherwise it would burn. It would feel so painful, and that's something that they did not talk to me about during my pregnancy. They didn't tell me, oh, you know, you might want to do this. And, you know, they told me about the hospital giving you the bottle and everything, but they didn't say, oh, you're going to really actually need it. You guys, honestly, the bottle, the icicle pads, you know, being as comfortable as possible with like comfy clothes, loose fitting clothing. I feel like that's the best thing that you could do. And you would be so thankful afterwards for doing it and like actually going through with it. So that's that, you guys. That's something I wish I would have known. Another thing that I wish I would have known is the fact that, you know, it's not just postpartum depression that you get. I didn't actually get that, but I did get the baby blues, and nobody actually talked to me about that, and I actually ended up getting that. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Like, I would feel so sad sometimes, even if my boyfriend, like, was talking to me normal. Sometimes I'd feel like he was like yelling at me, and I would just feel so upset and like be like, get out of the room, I don't want to see you, just leave me alone with the baby. And honestly, you guys, he's such a great guy because he really did support me and was really there for me and the baby, and like he was very involved in everything, and I am so thankful for that because in the hospital he saw how much pain I was, and he would, you know, change the baby's diaper and like pass her to me if she was in her little, what is that called, the little thing where you put the baby to sleep when they're in the hospital, don't remember. But yeah, he would pass her to me, and you know, he would just be very involved. Even when we got home, like he would wake up and change her diaper, and I would, you know, obviously breastfeed her, and he's just very, very loving dad, and I am so, so proud of the dad that he is, you guys. He's honestly such an amazing person. But anyways, yeah, so there's that. Once I came home, I thought, like, a lot of people would tell me, like the doctor, like, you know, give it 2 weeks after you give birth, and you know, you'll be fine. And no, you guys, it took me literally 3 months to feel like myself, and that is totally okay. As a mom, you don't have to feel like you have to jump right back in and like be the person that you were before you were pregnant. You know, take it all in, you guys. Like, you did something amazing by creating a human being and like giving birth to them, and like now having them in this world, and you know, being able to see them grow and grow with them as a mom or a dad. You know, it's just amazing. Honestly, don't feel like you have to jump back, and don't feel like you have to like exercise and all this. No, I did not exercise for a long time. I still don't exercise, you guys. I'm trying to get back into it, but it takes time. I'm a mom, and once you become a mom, you realize that every experience, every mom's experience is different. For me personally, it took me a while to just like take some time and like be like, okay, I'm gonna do this today for myself, and like eat breakfast, actual breakfast, lunch, and dinner. For me, it wasn't like that at first because my boyfriend, he had to go back to work in Virginia, so he stayed with us for 2 weeks, and I decided to stay here for a while longer just until I could be like more like myself, you know, more be able to move, you know, without pain and all that stuff, like get myself together. And I stayed here for like I believe almost 3, 4 months, and that helped me so much, you guys. My mom was a very big help as well. Never feel afraid, you guys. That's the other thing too. It's like sometimes moms, first time moms feel like they have to do things on their own, and it has to be just them. Don't be afraid, you guys, to ask for help if you need it from whether it be your mom or your husband, you know, your dad, you know, your uncle, siblings, whatever it is. If you need a moment, you know, ask for help. Like, can you watch the baby while I, you know, go take a shower or get something to eat really quick? You know, just having that support system is a great big help, you guys. And I feel like that was so helpful for me because I honestly feel like if I wanted to make the choice to come here and be close to my family and have my daughter here, I feel like I would have maybe possibly had a bigger chance of having like postpartum depression or all this stress and feel overwhelmed, and you know, just being here took a lot off the plate. And my mom was a big help, you know. Sometimes she would watch the baby for me while I would get something to eat or like go take a shower and like, you know, get myself together for the day, and then, you know, we'd carry on just with her days. So also, you guys, they talk about setting up a routine with your baby when they're little, like that was hard for me because my daughter would literally sleep mostly the whole day. She would just eat, you know, I'd change her diaper. And when it came to the nighttime, she would fall asleep at 3 in the morning, you guys. She'd be awake all night until 3 in the morning. And that sort of like really gets you once it's like every day, it would be the same. She would go to sleep at the same time. So it started to get kind of hard. So setting up a sleeping routine isn't the easiest thing to do, but slowly and surely, if you know, keep them active, you know, play with them. A lot of parents I've seen that they don't really take time to play with their kids, and because they're babies, you know, they're little, they probably think they're not gonna pay attention, but they do, you guys. Like reading to them. I've been reading to her from the first day, and she loves it. She loves when I read to her and like show her toys, you know, that light up and like make noises. And like when she was little, she had this little ladybug and it would light up and she would just love it. It was this red ladybug and it would light up red and it was so cute. And just reading to her and talking to her and like, you know, they understand. They know that you're their parents and you care, and like talking to them, that helps a lot. And honestly, that was such an amazing thing. As soon as I started like reading to her more often, regularly, every night before bed, during the day, and talking to her and playing with her, she was, I believe, 3 months when she basically started to sleep almost the whole night. And that was amazing, you guys. It was so helpful.